Welcome back to Few in the Pew with Father Greg. I'm joined here with Diane Drzynski, longtime parishioner of St. Mary's in Platteville, but she teaches here in Dickeyville first grade. So she's got a question for us, so I'll turn it over to Diane.
Okay, thank you, Father, for inviting me to do this. Father, when I teach my first graders, I really stress to them because I'm very evangelistic. I really want my children to know Jesus Christ more. But I know that a lot of them aren't getting to Mass. And so I really stress to them to be little evangelists and talk to their parents about going to Mass each weekend. And part of it is because I want them to receive the grace, and they've learned it as grace is that gift of a share in the life of God, and to help them to be there, and that grace will help them to overcome temptations and things like that. But I really could use some advice about what else would you recommend in sharing and talking with other people about how to welcome them, to invite them to come to church each weekend.
Yeah, that's good. I think it's a big question. Not only you have, I think a lot of people have. I certainly have been getting some questions like that. We've got a men's Bible study at St. Mary's that we've been kind of unpacking that a little bit amongst the men, and some very, very good conversation. You would think people who've been Catholic for their whole life that they would have a quick response to that, but it's not so easy. It's not so simple. So one thing that I recommended, at least in Cuba City when I was there at the beginning of Advent, was to, and I've heard this happen in other parishes, is to take an ornament, to pray with it every day in Advent for a particular person that you know is away from the church, and then come, right before Christmas Eve, the last week of Advent, to give it to them, tell them that I've been praying for you all Advent, and I would like to invite you to come to Mass this Christmas. So there's both the prayer, the invitation is backed up by a bunch of prayer, and sometimes just a simple invite. I've heard of people who've come back just because somebody invited them. There are some people out there who deep down feel like this longing in their heart that they're missing something. All it takes is an invitation, but they would not have probably sought it out on their own. Right. So it's certainly one thing. Another thing I think sometimes, and I struggle with this personally, is like you want to kind of like tell them the truth. The truth will set you free. Well, medicine goes down better when it's sweet.
Right. I know that's one of my own challenges too, because I want to get to the real point.
Right.
And the difficulty.
So I think, part of that is people really don't care what you say until they know that you care. Right. And right. So to really ask sincerely, like how they're doing, but to move beyond the superficial of what they're doing, right, to how they are. Right. And that hits at the heart of being, like, how are you doing, on a deeper level. And I think once that starts happening, and, if they start bringing up some struggles or something, that you can kind of dive into that a little bit more. And that's where I think it's important to have confidence that it's like, our faith does have a lot to offer to man's daily struggles, right? To your point, right? Grace helps us with our daily struggles, and people struggle a lot. Life is hard. It's exhausting.
One thing I've noticed with my students and with talking with many people over the years is that they're busy. Oh, we were busy. Right, we can be busy. I'm busy. I have 6 kids. I teach. It's hard. And there's days I don't feel like going either. But I go because of the grace. Mm-hmm. I go because I want God with me throughout the whole week. And I tell my students too, Jesus wants to be with us in all that we do, at the basketball games and at dance and at work. He wants to be there with us. And so by carving out that 1 hour, we get a chance to be with our community, but then also take Christ and that grace into the week.
And
with us.
I think you bring up a good point, because the Lord seeks us a ton,
He's
right?
looking.
And we can be with him wherever, but he comes to us in a very unique, powerful, intimate way in the sacraments, right? And so it's a different way. You can be with his creation. It's another thing to be with him, right? So when we're out and about, we're with his creation, but when we're receiving him in the sacraments, we are with him, in a sense, alone, right?
And I tell the students too, it's kind of like from the Avengers movie, when they have that portal to that next dimension. Mass is that portal to heaven. We get that little glimpse of heaven, and again, we take that then with us, that strength that we get into our week, into the coming week and into our activities.
So if this conversation was helpful and you'd like to learn more, there's going to be posted on this video some videos with Chris Stefanik on evangelization. So I just encourage you to take a look at them. Very short videos, but I think you might find them very helpful.